Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by. This is Tony from Psych Studios, and it is officially Easter Sunday. It is 7:07 a.m. 4/8/2012, and I just got through spending about 2.5 hours making some action sets for you guys as a thank you for all your dedication and for coming back time and time again to watch my tutorials and videos. I really appreciate it. I want to kind of get this out there for you. Since my last tutorial was based on creating your own action, I've created some that can be used for Easter projects or really anything you want, and they're pretty neat. I'm going to go ahead and provide a link in the download to that in the description. It includes a folder that has all the files you'll need in it. It'll look something like this. It'll be called Free Easter Actions by Psych Studios. And inside there we've got 4 different folders. That's 4 different actions. And what I'm going to do is go through them with you now and show you what they do and how they work. Now, go ahead and download the actions in the sample link there and extract it someplace safe where you can easily get to, because we have to load these actions. You only have to load them once and then they're there, so that's nice. But it's really simple. What we're going to do once you get them extracted, you're going to, in Photoshop, you're going to go ahead and go to File and Open, and again you'll see our folders here. We're going to start with the first one called Dreamscape. First, let's open our sample photo. This is my little Yorkshire Terrier. His name is Max. He's 3.5 pounds of pure awesome. So I've had him for a long time. Me and my wife really love him. He's a cutie. So now that we've actually got our sample picture open, we need to load our actions. And remember, we only need to load our actions once and they'll stay in our menu. Now, if you've watched the last tutorial, we talked about how to access the actions menu and how to create your own action. But in case you missed that, over here on this toolbar, you're going to see different things depending on what you got it, how you got it set up, laid out. Now, this is our actions menu. You see I hover over it, it says actions. It's a little play button. You may not see that, and that's okay. If you don't see that, you can actually hold the Alt key and press F9, and you'll see the actions menu pops out. Press F9 again, it goes away. Once you do this though, the little play button should appear here on the side for you. Now, if you don't see it and you can't use that for whatever reason, your F9 key doesn't work, an Alt key doesn't work, no problem. We're going to go up here to Window, go down to Actions, and as you see, it pops out. Now, we have, this is our Actions menu, and I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. Now, you may see something like this. This is the default Photoshop actions. This is called an action set, and these are different actions inside the set. We're just going to go ahead and collapse that. Okay, so we don't see that anymore. Now here we have our first menu. We're going to go and select. See, it pops out. We're going to go down and Load Actions. And we're in our Dreamscape folder. Make sure you're in your Dreamscape folder. And we're going to load Dreamscape at A10. So that's going to go ahead and load, and you'll see Dreamscape appear. We're going to go ahead and expand that, and you'll see underneath some have multiple entries, some have one, but there are multiple things that will happen when you start the action. So you can think of an action as like a recording. It's something that I've recorded, or when you make your own, you've recorded, and you want to play it back for ease of use on other pictures without having to repeat steps over and over and over and over constantly. So with our Dreamscape selected here, we're going to go ahead and choose Play, and you can see what happens to the picture. Now, it's a subtle difference, but it kind of gives it a fuzzy around the edges, kind of a half sepia glow. Now, that's cute for pictures you don't want to quite go vintage with. You just want kind of a misty, dreamy, blurry effect, and that can be used for lots of things. And that's just one simple effect. And that was a fun, quick one. Now we're going to go ahead and close this. Okay. And now I'm not going to save. I'm going to go to Open, and we're going to move to our next one. That's going to be Model Glow. We're going to go ahead and open the picture of our model. Okay, we have our model opened. A friend of mine, a very beautiful young lady, and we're going to go ahead and load the action for that. And as you can see, the previous action you have stays in there, so you don't have to load it again. So back to our menu, load actions, folder pops up. You see we're still in the Dreamscape folder, so we have to go back out, go down to Model Glow, and select Model Glow.atn. That's going to load our Model Glow action. Now, this action gives you a very easy way to get that airbrushed just glow about some of these models you see in magazines. To do it yourself and do every picture can be tedious, and sometimes that's required, but for most times, especially for home projects, you can get away with an action like this that I've created for you. It's very simple, a lot of fun to use. Now you can see we have good color here. We have the auburn hair, blue eyes. We've got a good contrast on the black background. But watch what happens when we go down to Glow. That's our first under the folder. Always go to the first one under the folder, select it, and we're going to choose Play. Now you see a lot of things are happening over here, and it squishes back down and merges all the layers. A lot just happened that you didn't really have to go through, but there was a lot of steps. And as you can see, you get this nice model effect glow. Looks like it's been airbrushed. Very nice for retouching photos, friends, family, school pictures. Really makes them stand out and pop. And that's just one of the actions that I've created. That's number 2. And I'm just kind of move through these, play with them on different pictures, see what you think, see how you like it. All right, so let's go ahead and close that one. We don't want to save. I'm going to choose Open. We're going to go back up, and we're going to go to the Polaroid effect. Now, this is a little buddy of mine named Zeke. This is a watercolor type painting. It's called Sloppy Glaze that I did. My name's Tony Bush. You see my initials there, TV. And we're going to use this picture for our Polaroid effect. So now we need to load that action. So we're going to go back up to our menu, come down to Load Actions. As you can see, we're still in the Model Glow action, so let's back out, go down to Polaroid Effect, and choose Polaroid Effect.atn. There's going to be a lot of stuff that pops out here. You can see lots and lots of steps. This one took a while. This one and the last one took quite some time. So now it's loaded. You have the Polaroid effect. Go to the first one under. Now, let me explain what this means. This is your starting point. Anytime you see the down arrow, it is an action of its own. This is the action set, but this is an action. These are sub-activities that happen as part of this action. So don't jump down and start with something like this when you have the drop-down box here. You need to start with this one. So we'll go ahead and just choose this, and depending on your computer, it could bog down just a little bit. If you've got a really fast newer computer, it will do fine. But you'll see even on this system, which has 16 gigs of RAM and dual processors, and it's very intensive, but it's doing a whole lot in a short span of time. So here we go. We're going to play this action, and you can see it going through the list. It is actually doing a whole lot here, doing a lot of changes. Now, here is where you can set options. I've put this in. You don't have to set any options. You can do other things if you want. Now, I've preset certain options. You can change things. I would recommend just going ahead and choosing OK here, because most of the time it's set. Let it go through and finish. And as I said, it's doing a lot. So now, here's when you get to this message I've added for you. That's it. Press continue if you would like to transform the visible image. Now let me show you what that means. You see how the little boy's face is kind of off center. Go ahead and choose continue, and now you see our transformation controls are on. So what that means is we can just click anywhere inside the little square here and move our picture around. And also, if we go up to the corner, hold shift and alt and then left click and drag in, we can bring it in. Something like that right there. We can continue to bring it in. So we can resize our image to make sure it fits inside. Okay, now we've got our image pretty much centered. So go ahead and press enter here. And there you have it. You've got the nice Polaroid effect. You can even use a brush and write something like a Sharpie. It makes a great little gift. You can see the divots are all around here. It looks just like a Polaroid photo. And I thought that was kind of nostalgic because they don't make Polaroid like they used to anymore with the instant cameras because of the digital age. And as you can see over here, it really did a whole lot. I'm not going to get into everything because it really is kind of a lot of work to do these. And this is just something fun I've done for you guys to make some things easier for you to have some fun as a thank you. Okay, so let's go back up. We're going to go ahead and close that. We're not really closing it. We're just kind of collapsing it back. So we're going to go ahead and close this and move on to our last, and I think one of the neatest effects. Let's go to open. We're going to go up and we're going to go into our vintage photo. Now I've got a nice bowl of fruit here, and now we're going to load our action like we did before. So load action, come up out of that folder into the vintage folder, load that action, and as you can see we have 3 different selections, but if you'll notice each one has the arrow pointing to the left, or excuse me, to the right. It's pointing to the right and not down. So each one of these is a separate action. And in this case, you're going to want to use these in order. Now you don't have to use them all, but what you will do is start with aging. Okay? And what that's going to do is make the picture look old and vintage. As such, let me show you. I'm going to press play. Don't worry if your computer hiccups a little bit. This is pretty intensive also. As you can see in the layers palette over there, it's doing quite a bit. So don't worry if the cursor spins for a little bit. It's doing a lot behind the scenes. Alright, as you can see, it's taken our photo, added a dark sepia look, and added a nice frilly edge to make it look like an older photo. But we can take it even further. We're going to add our colors here. And we're going to go down to it, and it's a new action. Go ahead, and you have to do these in order. You have to start with aging, then go to color, and go to blending. Now after aging you can stop at any time. You don't have to go any further, but I recommend doing it all because it looks great. So we're going to go ahead and press play, and as you can see it brings back some of the color in the photo, so it's not just a plain sepia look. Alright, now at the end we're going to do the blending. Now this is where the magic happens. This is really nice. Okay, if you get this message, no problem. Don't even worry about it. It's common. It just means it's going to do some things that you might not have already set up, but just go ahead and choose OK. And as you can see, it creates a shadow type effect on a wall and the shadow down here, and kind of warps the photo, makes it look like it's leaning up against the wall and it's an old vintage photo. That's one of the neatest effects. I really like it. I hope you guys like it. Those are our 4 actions for today that I've made for you guys. I really appreciate all the support, and I want you guys to keep coming back. Please rate, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think. Visit us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/psychstudios. Follow us on Twitter at psych_studios. And please keep coming back. I really appreciate it. There'll be more things coming for you guys in the future, more tutorials, and I just wanted to say thanks. So I appreciate you guys watching, and have a great one, and happy Easter.